Speaking of movie series, did you want to talk about 2022 this year?
Want to talk about movies and TV shows and other media properties?
Yeah, things you liked from 2022.
Yeah.
One of them could be a Fast movie.
Was there a
they
Fast
had
and
one.
Furious movie this year?
I thought
Was this
so.
the year they went to space? No.
No.
That was a while ago, right? This is always the problem with the like, hey, what was your favorite thing of 2022? I was like, it's like, what happened in 2022?
The Video Strike team wants me to talk about Titane, which isn't a subject that I have on my podcast. So I have no idea how they know that I'm deeply in love with that movie, that weird ass movie bus movie. Sorry, language. That it took me like 2 months after I saw it to stop thinking about it. But do not, children, watch that movie.
What's Titane about?
Titane's about a woman who doesn't communicate well with people, and she gets impregnated by a car, and then she tries to hide and murders a bunch of people to cover up what's happened, and then sort of found family with this old firefighter man.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you're saying excuse me, chat. I think you heard that loud and clear.
Yep, that happens.
I mean, it's at the forefront of my mind right now because I just saw it. But the obviously Andor is great.
Andor's
I'm really
good.
enjoying that.
Yep.
I just saw the latest episode.
They've really solidly nailed the world of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like actually, it's like you get to actually see what the world of Star Wars is like. And it turns out it's not just like people living in huts in on Tatooine and moisture farming.
What came out this year? Everything I can think of is from last year, like that Fast movie or Censor.
I quite enjoyed, actually. I just recently saw I don't know if it was this year. It was great. I recently saw The Takedown. Speaking of sort of Fast and Furious type movies, which is it's a neat it's a French movie that's on Netflix. With dubbed and subtitled and stuff. But it's the guy. I got interested in it because it's the same guy who is in the Lupin series on the French series.
The French guy. Yeah. So this is not. Wasn't there a movie called Takedown with The Rock and that guy from American Pie?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
The Rundown. That was
Rundown.
called.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you. There we go.
But yeah, The Takedown was super fun. It's just it's sort of a buddy cop thing, but it's quite well done. Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think, was this year.
That was fun. Yeah, it was really nice to see.
It was just so creative.
Yeah. Oh, the camera work. Oh, yeah.
And awesome Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah. Have not seen Bullet Train yet. That's on the list to watch in the future. I watched the Weird Al movie. I liked it fine. Other people didn't like it.
I haven't seen that one yet. I've been saying my brother's coming into town for Christmas, and he was like, "Don't watch that.
Right.
We'll watch it together."
I watched Hocus Pocus 2, which wasn't great, according to me. My opinion.
Yeah. I read that in your opinion. Yeah, Hocus Pocus 2. Yeah.
No, Weird did make me laugh, but it's very Weird Al, and everything that happened in it fits within that framework. Oh, Nope was really good. Nope was so much fun.
Oh,
Oh,
I haven't seen that one.
oh, it's fun.
I have enjoyed previous Jordan Peele stuff, so I should
Yeah.
check that out. I what did you watch Rings of Power?
Yeah, liked Rings of Power. That was fun. I didn't dislike Galadriel as much as a lot of other people. She seems very Galadriel to me, like very pre Kate Blanchett.
I mean, she's not Kate Blanchett, but few of us are. Let's be honest. I saw like the first couple episodes, and then I was like, I'm gonna wait until it all comes out before I watch the rest. And it's all come out now, and I haven't watched the rest, but maybe I will.
Speaking of Jordan Peele, Wendell and Wild just came out. Peach wants us to mention that. Apparently, PJ really liked it.
Ooh,
I think the animation's amazing, but
that's
I
that
didn't.
stop motion one.
Yeah, I didn't really vibe with it.
I haven't. Yeah, I've just seen like little previews for it, but I haven't actually seen it. Let's see what else. I mentioned, I think on the first day that I'm playing Dyson Sphere Program, which seems to be the ideal game to be playing during Desert Bus. It's just like a great sort of, I have some downtime. I don't want something that is going to take a lot of. I want to sort of make some, optimize a thing and fiddle with some stuff, but I don't really want to engage in a large storyline right now.
Yeah. Video games is definitely a thing I have access to look at from a list. Vampire Survivors was definitely a fun addition to the year. Marvel Snap's fun. Disney Dreamlight Valley's decent.
I hear Marvel Snap is excellent. What else?
Immortality was really quite fun if you like the Sam Barlow games.
Tunic was this year, wasn't it?
Yep.
That was great. Yep. I really enjoyed that.
And with that new Monster Hunter Rise DLC, maybe I should get back into Rise. I like the
squeaky toys.
Yeah.
I would love, for whatever reason, one of the things that I always think about especially with games like Monster Hunter and like Elden Ring and sort of big things where you're like fighting big sort of things. I think the next big innovation in video games, in video game like visual technology, is perfect collision detection on stuff. So like things not clipping through each other.
You think that's gonna happen?
I think that's something that should be like an objective. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You think that hasn't been an objective before? You think they've just been like, well, we could get to this eventually.
Well, but like Monster Hunter, like the monsters are not like they're not trying to make them not clip through the ground and stuff, right? That's how the game is. You just like roll through things, and right, they're supposed to be coming. I'm not saying they're phoning it in. That's just how the game. That's just how these like that. That's not something that is possible basically right now because it's such a ridiculous amount of stuff.
Collision detection is hard.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but
And you
is
think
it
we should
harder?
focus on it?
Yeah. Is it harder than the like amazing like ray tracing systems that they've got now?
Yes.
I'm just saying that that's something that I would like to see innovation in for video
You
games.
need that ray tracing to work so that the collision stuff can be very micro.
But to me it would give a whole new level of verisimilitude to, especially with fighting like big monsters and stuff. I don't know. The for some reason it annoys me the like the sort of the thing with like the Dark Souls style games and things where like rolling sort of through the monster while it's attacking you is sort of the intended strategy. It just seems
You don't like iframes?
Yeah, like it just seems like an odd thing to
want,
have
like,
as the actual
Gritty, realistic simulation.
not simulation necessarily, but it just seems like for something that is such a the combat is such a sort of precise thing. It's a very odd inclusion.
Well, shall we move on to music then?
Sure. I have no music to talk about.
I'm just going to scroll down the list of music I added this year and see what actually came out this year. There's a new Bad Plus album that just launched. That was pretty recently. There was a new Soil and Pimp Sessions album that was also pretty good. Live in Tokyo, I think it's called. I think that was this year. I can just sort this by year, can't I? No, I can't. Never mind. Don't try to do anything in iTunes.
Let's talk about anime.
Just a second. I'm just about to the end of my added stuff in 2022. Mystery Skulls. There was an album. I didn't like it as much as what is it called? Forever. What is the last one? Again, when there's more Santa Gold. What's not as Master of My Make Believe, Master of My Make Believe is one of my favorite albums, but the new Santa Gold's not hitting it. When did that last Garbage album come out?
It's not a very nice thing to say about an album.
Yeah, and the Yeah Yeahs album is also meh. Anyways, okay, yeah, anime.
What you got?
I mean, from this season, The Witch from Mercury has actually been really cool. I did not expect it to be.
It's not your first Gundam, though.
It is not my first Gundam, but I expected it to be like,
it's like your first rodeo.
So
this ain't my first Gundam.
Yeah, my first Gundam was, other than Gundam F91, which doesn't count because I had no idea what I was watching. I knew it was a Gundam. I'm like, oh, we'll watch this. That will be how I enter into Gundam, I guess. Back at Animathon 4. So, no, first real Gundam was Turn A Gundam. And then Ian said, I will make you watch all of the original series and then Zeta, and then we might even get into Double Zeta. But yeah, Witch from Mercury. I was like, I'm not going to watch Gundam. I don't care. And people are like, it's like Utena, but Gundam. And I'm like, I will watch it. And I've actually been enjoying it. So,
is that
what? Huh? Yuri overtones? Yuri undertones? I know people who work with subtext, and they are cowards. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I'm like, if you want Beach to watch any anime, all you have to do is like, it's like Utena, but X.
Mm-hmm.
And then
really I mean, the thing is, it's like Utena in a lot of ways, but really to get me to watch an anime, just be like, no, for real, the two main characters are both girls and they're getting together. And I'm like, great. I'm fine with that. Don't just be like, they might. And be like, don't care anymore about that. No. Do It Yourself has been kind of fun.
You don't like being teased about it.
Spy Family's been great.
It's so adorable.
It absolutely is. I'm actually starting to save it up because I want to watch a few in a go.
Oh,
Because it's really hard to do that because I'm like, I want to watch it now.
and they
like,
do actually like that. That can pay off because the arcs do extend multi-episode.
Mm-hmm. It has been. I think Spy Family's like, it's the thing I would probably recommend to people. They're like, I want to watch something new, recent, interesting, and I'd be like, just watch this. I think
Yeah.
you will find it fun and interesting, and it's not. There's not a lot of violence. There's not a lot of whatever.
It doesn't require a lot of literacy like Pop Team Epic.
Yeah. You can. On the other hand, you could watch Chainsaw Man, and that's very different. And who knows where that's going to stop because they're not going to do the entire manga. But
If it had
He's been getting
like,
a lot of traction lately.
more budget, I think Chainsaw Man needs more money. So I want to leave it open for them to make another series again in the future, but better. Make it better looking, especially the action scenes.
Yeah.
Like they're really hard to mentally try to figure out based on the manga panels, but what they've got in the show is not. It's weightless.
I bet they would also like to have more money.
I
Maybe-
feel
Maybe you can be all in the
Yeah,
same page.
who is it? Mappa? Yeah, they're definitely hurting for cash.
I would say that maybe the counterpoint to that. Now we're just gonna talk Chainsaw Man for a couple minutes. I think the counterpoint to that is that if they made it too weighty, that it would be too visceral, because the impact would be greater, and that might get them in trouble. And that might be why they're trying to go for a more like everything's a little faster. When there's impact, there's only impact when the fight is over.
One Punch Man did it, and
That's
no
fair.
one complained.
That's fair.
One Punch Man has weight. The impacts. Someone throws a car at someone, it feels like the car doesn't weigh like the tissue box.
I want more One Punch Man. That's what I want.
Yeah. That would be
I'm
good
not
too.
watching Mob Psycho 100. I read the manga for a while and I got to a point and I'm like, I don't think I care much about the story arcs anymore. And I know people really love it. And I'm like, great. I'm glad you love it. I think it's important that you love it because it's very meaningful to you. That's
It
great.
started off a little slow because Mob's not been kind of the main character for the first few episodes.
Okay.
It's the new guy.
Ah.
The new psychic. He's an old guy. And not just a feisty child with hair that's 2 feet too tall.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I mean, I like Komi-san. Komi Can't Communicate. I really like that. I'm glad that's doing thing. I thought from last season, Uncle from Another World was a lot of fun because it's a great leaning on the idea of these tropes, but we only get to see it in bits and spurts.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see more of that. But yeah, we don't have to sit here and talk about anime all night, obviously, because I could go on and on. I do a whole thing about that.
We're enjoying Akiba Maid War. We're holding Golden Kamui for after Desert Bus to watch. What else is there? There was some really slick stuff this year.
Did you watch your boy Kong Ming?
Yeah, your boy Kong Ming was great.
Good. Okay. I didn't see it, but
We kept trying to get you to watch it.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's light and fluffy. It's a little like Carol and Tuesday, but funnier.
Oh, okay. Okay. Bochi the Rock has been a lot of fun, and it's probably a hard watch to people who find if you identify too close to the main character, you will probably find it a hard watch. But yeah, but I'm really liking it.
Actually, here's an interesting question. What media have you been watching or consuming like during Desert Bus? Like,
I was really pleased to discover that the BBC series Ghosts has more than one season.
Ghosts and more ghosts.
Now,
So-
is that a wind-up show, like to bring you to Zeta, or is that a wind-down show after you're done?
It's just like a goofy sitcom.
Okay.
It's quite fun and cute. Before the run, when I was switching my sleep schedule around, I was watching Only Murders in the Building, which I hadn't watched previously because I thought the premise was something else. But it's about Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez making a podcast about a murder that happens in their New York building. And they have like a rival podcast thing with Tina Fey.
and part of that, I've only seen like the first 3 episodes of that. I don't know if I'm going to watch more, but the part of that too that's interesting is that you discover that each of them, the 3 of them, have more backstory about themselves than they let on
Yeah.
to each other, and that kind of fleshes out what they're doing
Mhm.
outside of the podcast.
Neat. I've been, I mean, I was saying about, I was playing Dyson Sphere program with the something to sort of not get deep into like story stuff, and I found that like I have been like thinking, I was like, oh man, I should watch this thing, or get into this TV series and stuff, and I've actually found that I've been doing more like, if I have time, I'll like prefer to watch sort of YouTube stuff, like stuff that I don't want to get like invested in the story of, sort of thing during Desert Bus. Just
Because you don't want to feel like I just want to get off screen and go watch more of that kind of
Right.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So luckily, there's been a couple of fairly prominent YouTubers coming out with ridiculously long video essays in the past like week.
It was so
or 2
good.
weeks.
Jenny Nicholson's Evermore video
Mm.
dropped.
Yeah, I'm watching that.
So many hours of just stuff on screen.
And the most recent one that H Bomber dude.
Oh
did
yeah, that
about
dropped.
Tommy Tellerico.
I haven't. Yeah.
That is quite the
Tell-all?
rabbit hole. Well, it's quite the rabbit hole. Yeah. It goes places that both you and he did not expect it would go.
Oh right, there was a new Dorktown, wasn't there? Thank you, Rodent.
Hmm.
Yeah. God, what was it? It was the 4 of them sharing. Yeah, actually, I just talked about it earlier. It was John and Alex and Kofi and Seth all narrating it on the Charlotte Bobcats. Specifically about the Charlotte Bobcats in the whole, but also about just the 1 year specific, the 2011 to 2012 one, I think it was. It was really interesting.
Yeah. I haven't been consuming any podcasts. Have you, Paul?
Podcasts? I've been doing a little bit of not this week, but in the previous time, the before times, I've been listening to I was listening to a bunch of opening arguments, which is like a lawyer podcast, which is kind of weird, but it's it's a lawyer and a comedian talking about current law situations. Like I started listening to it because they were talking about like the Alex Jones thing.
Oh, okay.
And so a lawyer who really knows his stuff, and then a comedian basically being the like, so what does that mean? The sort of the outsider type. And it's quite entertaining. You're Wrong About is always good, that I've been enjoying, which is just they talk about random topics and stuff that people may have incorrect things about. They did a really great multi-part thing on Princess Diana. That was really good. I listen.
Spencer this year. That must have been right. Come on.
Yeah, that was definitely that was
there we go. That was a fun movie.
I sometimes listen to Drive to Work, which is Mark Rosewater's podcast, which is he gets into the weeds on stuff sometimes, but listening to him, especially when he's interviewing like other members of the development teams, like when a particular set comes out, they'll often talk about cool magic stuff that either didn't make it in or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, those are like the main ones that I've been listening to. Savage Love sometimes. I like Dan Savage is great.
Yeah.
I feel like Dan Savage, has I like his takes on, things that are going on in the world, especially in the world of marginalized sexualities or anything of that sort. He seems like he sort of has a good grasp of the topic, or he knows who to talk to get a grasp of the topic. So I like him as a I like that as a sort of at least a starting point for things. But yeah, those are sort of the main ones that I've been listening to. Speaking of video games, I was playing a fair amount of Pressure Wash Simulator.
Yeah.
Which is great for listening to podcasts. One of those games where it's one of those games that makes your parents sort of frown.
Mm-hmm. We've got more recommendations from some of our volunteers. Mike's come in saying no such thing as a fish, which I believe is the QI podcast or one of them.
That's the QI elves podcast. Yeah.
And Matthews has recommended for YouTube Quentin reviews, which they got me watching the iCarly episode, or one of an iCarly episode, which was like 4 hours. So that's another one of the things I've just kind of had on in the background.
Long. Yeah. Multi-hour video essays seems to be one of the new kind of oeuvre for YouTube people. You gotta put some work in to justify it for me. But there's a few creators, Jenny Nicholson often does it. And what was the one she did about that musical that came out? Oh, that doesn't narrow it down, does it?
No, that doesn't.
Yeah.
Not Phantom, not
Wicked.
It's about it's about the kid that lies. Yeah, Dear Evan Hansen.
Dear Evan Hansen. Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, with the guy from Pitch Perfect, and he's just too old.
And it's the thing where I was totally uninterested in watching that actual movie, but I watched her thing, which is longer than the actual show about it. Is excellent, and the church musicals universe is pretty amazing as well.
All right, I would like to step away